Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a very good day. My name is Muhammad Faiz Aiman bin Fakrul Razi. My matric number is A20EC0209 and I am from section 4 from Requirements Engineering and Software Modeling, and I am from team The Analyst, which is group 9. So this is SECJ 2253 Requirements Engineering and Software Modeling Alternative Assessment Part 4 or Phase 4 High Fidelity Mockup Mindcare Center Customer System. So firstly, let me introduce first about the project introduction. So basically the title of this project is Mindcare Center Customer System, and the goal for this project is to create an efficient automated appointment system, and the stakeholder is the Mindcare Center itself, and the product is, there are two products here, which is the automated reply message and also a database system. So basically Mindcare Center is a center for consultation between the therapist and customer. So next here we have the overall of user interface flow. So on this screen right now we have 11 interface. So basically, as for my part, I have 11 UI flow over here. So we have the sign in option, we have the home page, we have the therapist availability notes, and also the details of the availability of therapists and the process of update of the therapist availability. So yeah, that's the overall of my UI flow. And then next we have use case diagram for Mindcare Center customer system. So as you can see here in the screen, we have the overall use case diagram for my group. So as for my group, I have only 9 use case, which is the first one is to follow up with customer, second one consult with customer, the third one is to set an appointment, the fourth one change appointment, the fifth one send inquiry, the sixth one view appointment, use case 007 update availability, use case 008 store customers data, and lastly use case 009 validate appointment. But as for my part will only cover one use case, which is UC007, which is the admin update the availability of the therapist. So this is my overall use case diagram and also my part for use case diagram. The next on the screen here we have the assigned use case specification as in phase 3. So basically, as I explained just now, my part will be covering only use case 007, which is update availability. So here we have my use case specification, use case ID, which is UC007, the use case name, which is update availability. So the description for use case, which is this use case allows admin to update the availability of therapists for consultation with the customer. So the actors involved is only the admin and also the Mindcare system. As for precondition, the therapists themselves should have free slots for appointment booking session. And for the normal flow, number 1, therapist alerts the system, or the therapist notify the system about his or her availability for appointment booking. The second one, the system asks the therapist to enter the date and time of his or her availability. The third one, the therapist enters the details of his or her availability. The fourth one, the system notifies the admin about the availability and passes all the required information. And lastly, the admin updates the availability of the therapist and displays it to the appointment booking section. So in my use case specification, there is no alternative flow, but for exception flow we have one, which involve the invalid detail of availability. So let's say the input is invalid, so the system will display an error message, and normal flow number 3 will be executed again. And for post condition, the availability of therapist is successfully updated. So yeah, this is for my use case specification. So next we have my activity diagram. So basically here we have three actors, which is therapist, the system itself, and also the admin. So for therapist, he or she should notify his or her availability, and the system will be notified and request details of the availability, and the therapist will enter information of his or her availability, and next the system will process to notify the admin about the availability and also pass the information of the availability. So the admin itself will, for me as an admin, will update the availability, and also I will display on appointment booking section. So that is the whole process of the activity diagram related to use case 007, which is update availability. So as for self-reflection, I will divide into two questions. The first one is, what are the experience gained during RASM course? So as for me, during this RASM course, I've learned on the first one. I have learned on how to document user requirement definition, which is known as URD. The second one, I have learned on how to document requirement model, or RMD. And the last one, I also have learned on how to document software requirement specification, or as known as SRS. So these three documents are important to document before we can proceed to make a mock-up prototype or a high fidelity prototype. So this is my experience gain during the RASM course. So as for the second question, how this high fidelity prototype is aligned with overall requirement engineering understanding and knowledge. So in my opinion, I believe that this prototype shows that about the clear vision of how to translate from documents to prototype. As we all know, we have already learned on how to document this document, and to know whether we understand about what are we documenting, we translate it into a prototype, which to show either we understand our document or not by creating a prototype. And the next one, prototype illustrates the system itself. So basically the document, we propose a system, and to know if the system works or not, we create a prototype. So the prototype illustrates the system itself. And the last one, how high fidelity prototype is aligned with overall RA understanding and knowledge, is that the prototype help understanding more about the flow of the system. So as we all know, documents is about writing and also about thinking, but to see whether the system works with the documents that we propose, we should do the high fidelity prototype to make sure that the documents and also the prototype is aligned with each other. So by creating a prototype, by making a prototype, it helps us to understand more about the documents itself. So that is for my self-reflection for the two questions. So next we move on to prototype demo, which involves my use case, which is UC007 of update availability. So let's move on to the prototype demo section. So in this case, let me see myself as an admin, or point of view of an admin of the Mindcare Center. So firstly, I will straight face the sign in section. So we have here username and password. So let's say my username is A20600209 and my password over here. So the password is hidden, so if we want to see the password, here we can click here. So we have the forgot your password section, and if I press the login, I will sign in as an admin. So we move on, the system will move to the homepage section. So as you can see here, welcome, Faiz A20AC0209, and it shows that this is my name, and also this is my staff ID or admin ID. So in this section, is this homepage, I will only see my part as an admin. So from my group's use case diagram, an admin has 4 things to do, which is manage inquiries, view appointment, therapist availability, and also store customers data. But in this case, for my part, I will only covering on the therapist availability. So here is the therapist availability, and also we can see here the logout button, which if I click that, I will log out from this section, from this homepage. So let's move on to the update therapist availability. So if I click here, therapist availability, the screen will show the My Care Center and also the therapist availability. So as you can see here on the screen, we have 3 therapists over here, which is Dr. Mubin, Dr. Sun, and also Dr. Dafa. So the only therapist that mention his or her availability is on the Dr. Mubin. So in this case, Dr. Mubin said that he is available on 16th of July 2022, while for Dr. Sun, Dr. Dafa, maybe both have a busy schedule, so maybe they cannot make it to consult with customer. So let's update availability for Dr. Mubin. If I click here, update availability, it will move on to a calendar or schedule to show for me to update Dr. Mubin's availability. So as he just mentioned that he is available on 16th of July, so I click here on 16th of July, and it will straight move to the fill in form to show that Dr. Mubin is available. So as you can see here, the therapist name, we should enter his name and also his time. So let's say therapist name, I put here Dr. Mubin, and for the time, as he said that he is available on that day, so me as an admin, I will assign him to list to show the availability on time 10 AM to 12 PM. So Dr. Mubin, therapist name, and also the time, which is 10 AM to 12 PM. So let's update his availability. So as you can see here now, in the schedule, the 16th of July is now in colored in blue, which showed that on that day, therapist has shown his or her availability. So as you can see, there are three other dates with colored blue. So let's try and click here for 10th of July. As you can see, it will show the details of available therapies. So on 10th of July, Dr. Sun is available during that day, and the time is 8 AM to 10 AM, and he is on room 2, and the status is available for consultation with customer. If I click back the 16th of July, it will show that Dr. Mubin, as I have updated him into the system, so Dr. Mubin is available on 10 AM to 12 PM, and he is available on room 3, status available. So let's see for other dates. On 22nd of July, we have Dr. Dafa here, available from 2 PM to 4 PM, and he is available in room 1, status available. And lastly, on 25th of July, we have Dr. Mubin again. He is available on 8 am to 10 am on room 3. Status available. If I click here button, it will move back to the schedule session. So this is the text colored in blue shows that some of the therapies available during that day. Sorry. So if I click here button, I will be redirected back to the home page section, so I can do these 3 other parts. But for my case, I will only cover on therapist availability. So if I as an admin, I want to log out from this section, I want to log out from the system, I will just press here log out button, and I will log out from the system. The system said that you have logged out. So yeah, that is all about my part for prototype demo for use case 007 update availability. So we have done a prototype demo. So let's move on to the next slide, which is the conclusion itself. So as for conclusion, I would like to thank my lecturer, Dr. Johanna, for the guidance throughout this whole project. I also would like to thank my group members for completing this project together. Without them, I think that I cannot finish it in due time. I also believe that this is a good experience for me. This project is a good experience for me to learn, as I might need this when I work in industries. This project, such as the documents of URD, RMD, and also SRS, I believe that I need these documents. I need to learn these 3 documents to experience, for my experience during my industries. There is still more to learn, so I hope that I will get another opportunity to learn more about requirement engineering and software modeling in the future. So that is for my conclusion, and that is the end of my presentation. So thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.